You're listening to an African Elements top news story for July 11, 2025. Please visit our website at africanelements.org for more daily news. Sudan is currently experiencing a severe humanitarian crisis, described by aid agencies as suffering of industrial proportions. The conflict began in April 2023 due to tensions between the Sudanese Armed Forces, SAF, and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF. These factions, once allies in overthrowing former President Omar al-Bashir, turned against each other during the transition to civilian rule. The fighting has led to widespread destruction of towns and cities, with tens of thousands of lives lost. The United Nations warns that the humanitarian situation is worsening, with displacement, hunger, and disease escalating rapidly. Famine is widespread, affecting millions, with the UN World Food Programme, WFP, highlighting that 25 million Sudanese face severe food insecurity. Lenny Kinsley of WFP stated that 2 years of war has turned Sudan into the world's largest hunger catastrophe. Famine has been officially declared in some areas, particularly in Darfur, where over 40,000 children were treated for severe acute malnutrition between January and May 2025. The conflict has disrupted farming and destroyed livelihoods, exacerbating the hunger crisis. More than 12 million people have been displaced since the war began, with approximately 4 million seeking refuge in neighboring countries. This influx of refugees is straining resources in those nations and contributing to regional instability. An estimated 30.4 million people will require assistance in 2025, a rise of 5.6 million from 2024, driven by the conflict and its consequences. Humanitarian aid delivery is severely obstructed, with Sudanese authorities blocking access to desperate areas. The RSF has engaged in widespread looting of health facilities, crippling the ability to provide life-saving assistance. The UN estimates that nearly two-thirds of Sudan's population, over 30 million people, will require aid this year. However, only 5% of the UN's aid appeal for Sudan has been funded, leaving a $2.56 billion gap. Doctors Without Borders has called for an immediate scaling up of the humanitarian response, citing a chronic lack of response. The conflict has been marked by severe human rights abuses, including credible allegations of war crimes. The International Criminal Court, ICC, believes war crimes are being committed in Darfur, with reports of attacks on healthcare facilities. The deputy prosecutor for the ICC reported to the UN Security Council about mass atrocities being committed. A CNN investigation revealed forced recruitment by the RSF, with nearly 700 men and 65 children forcibly recruited in Jazeera State in 3 months. These acts highlight the brutal nature of the conflict and the disregard for human life. Sudan's healthcare system has suffered a catastrophic collapse, leaving communities struggling to survive. Within 6 months of the conflict's start, 70% of hospitals were out of service. The World Health Organization, WHO, verified 60 attacks on healthcare facilities, resulting in numerous deaths and injuries. This targeting of medical infrastructure has led to widespread disease outbreaks, including cholera. The health system is at risk of total collapse, posing dire consequences for the population. International organizations face immense challenges in addressing the crisis, including securing funding and overcoming aid delivery obstructions. Despite these obstacles, efforts to deliver aid continue, although the humanitarian response remains underfunded. Diplomatic efforts to resolve the conflict have been complex. Sudan's military accepted a UN proposal for a ceasefire in El Fasher to allow aid delivery, but the RSF did not agree, leading to renewed clashes. This situation underscores the difficulty in achieving peace when one party is unwilling to commit. Dorothy Shea, the U.S. representative to the UN, expressed concern for the violence in Sudan, while also commenting on unrelated geopolitical issues. This highlights how global political dynamics can overshadow the urgent needs of crises like that in Sudan. Copyright African Elements.